Now, when we talk about an oligarchic form of government, what we're talking about is not just a handful of families owning entire nations. We're also talking about the politics of the nation. And as a result of this disastrous Citizens United decision, which is now 2 years of age, the worst decision, one of the worst decisions ever brought about by the Supreme Court of this country, a decision that they just reaffirmed a few days ago with regard to Montana. What the Supreme Court has done is said to the wealthiest people in this country, okay, you own almost all the wealth of this nation, that's great. Now we're going to give you an opportunity to own the political life of this nation. And if you're getting bored by just owning coal companies and casinos and manufacturing plants, you now have the opportunity to own the United States government. So we have people like the Koch brothers and Sheldon Adelson. Koch brothers worth $50 billion. That's what they're worth. So if you're worth $50 billion, they have said they're prepared to put $400 million into this campaign to defeat Obama, to defeat candidates who are representing working families. Sheldon Adelson said he's only worth $20 billion. He's kind of a pauper, but he's willing to spend what it takes to buy the government. And if you look at it, it ain't a bad deal. If you're worth $50 billion and you spend $1 billion or $2 billion, you can buy the United States government. That's a pretty good investment. And that's what they are about to do. So on one hand, we have a grossly unequal distribution of wealth and income. These guys control the economy. You have the 6 largest financial institutions in this country that have assets equivalent to 2/3 of the GDP of America, over $9 trillion. These 6 financial institutions write half the mortgages, 2/3 of the credit cards in America. Huge impact on the economy. That's not enough for these guys. Top 1% owns 40% of the wealth. Not enough for these guys. Now they have the opportunity to buy the United States government. So that's where we are. Now, in my view, working families all over this country are saying enough is enough. They want this Congress to start standing for them and not just the millionaires and the billionaires who are spending unbelievable sums of money in this campaign. So it seems to me, Mr. President, that what we have got to do is start listening to the needs of working families, the vast majority of our people, and not just the people who make campaign contributions. Now, I know that's a very radical idea. I do know that. But, you know, it might be a good idea to try a little bit to reaffirm the faith of the American people in their democratic form of government. Let them know just a little bit that maybe we are hearing their pain, their unemployment, their debt, the fact they're losing their houses, the fact that they don't have any health care, the fact they can't afford to send their kids to college. Maybe, just maybe, we might want to listen to them before we go running out to another fundraising event with millionaires and billionaires. I do know, Mr. President, that is a radical idea. So let's talk about what we can actually do for the American people. In the midst of this terrible recession, where real unemployment is closer to 15% if you include those folks who have given up looking for work and those people who are working part-time when they want to work full-time, we know that the fastest way to create decent-paying jobs is to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. Now, I don't know about Minnesota, Mr. President, but I do know in Vermont, many of our bridges are in desperate need of repair. Our roads are in need of repair. Our rail system is falling further and further behind Europe and China. We got water systems that desperately need repair, wastewater plants. We have schools that need repair. We can put millions of people back to work, making our country more competitive, more efficient by addressing our infrastructure crisis. Let's do it. It is beyond my comprehension that we can't even get a modest transportation bill. I know that Chairwoman Boxer and Senator Inhofe are working on a modest transportation bill. We can't even get that through the House. In fact, we've got to do a lot more than that, but at least they're making the effort.